This is Whilton Mill Kart Club, and this is round 1 of GX UK Juniors 2026.
We see, it was like 3 wide, it's Christmas colour. I couldn't see who that was in the blackout.
So you join us in our garage on the Thursday of race week as we're putting on our brand new graphics from One Custom Motorsport Design. Hopefully you'll agree with us that they look absolutely amazing. So big thanks to One Custom Motorsport for getting these done.
Alright, Heat 1, we've got Ollie, Jake, Tyler over there, Sam, Jack over there, Morgan over there, and all the way down there we've got Charlie Wiltshire, and he was absolutely rapid. He was definitely sticking with me in practice, so this should be an interesting race and hopefully we'll move forward.
It's Saturday afternoon and we're about to start Heat 1, so we roll onto the tram lines and wait for the red lights to turn green, and they do, so we go racing into turn 1. However, as we come into turn 1 we're already getting loaded from behind, so we're being pushed into the corner. We sort of go sideways a bit, but we're able to keep it going forwards, even if we get an absolutely abysmal exit into Christmas, although a couple karts break in the straight, so we're able to go up the inside as some karts have a moment, a couple karts spin on the inside, and we make up loads of positions, going from 18th to the top 10 in just one corner by sticking to the inside. Coming into the hairpin, Tyler ahead of us in the 91 kart has a slight moment.
There's no grip at all, what's going on?
As you can see, the two karts in front sort of stack up against each other, so I'm able to use my extra momentum to go around the outside of another kart on the way into the boot, and I get the job done before the chicane.
Got some clean air now. Yeah, no grip at all.
Half lap later we've caught up to the number 20 kart, and coming through turn 1 and turn 2 we take a slightly later apex, Leo, and we're able to get a better exit all the way down the hill, and we're going to switch to the inside, and it's a simple outbraking manoeuvre into Christmas.
Right, let's try and catch up. It was quite fast.
You join me on the last lap of the race now, and I've just spent the whole race hot lapping to try and catch up to the two karts in front of me, who are absolutely fighting very hard now, so I'm going to catch up very quickly to them, but is it going to be enough for me to get a move before the end of the race?
We roll onto the tram lines now, and lights go green and we start racing. Going into Christmas corner, something goes wrong and I get spun around.
That's maybe a reason why we get this amount of carnage. It's no wonder. That's the 15 and 13 spinning around there.
Coming into the Christmas corner, Morgan actually gets loaded so hard that he ends up spinning, and then this massive pile-up happens, and I end up having to take to the grass to try and avoid any contact. So that one crash sort of cost us both the entire weekend, as it meant that for the final we'd both be starting a lot further back, and this would turn out to be quite a big problem. On the plus side, it gives Morgan an opportunity for an amazing recovery drive.
Here the 14 gets stuck behind another car, and this gives us the opportunity to go up the inside into the next corner. Luckily we were able to go up the inside of the 18 into the next corner. And finally, the race finishes under yellow flags.
Time for Morgan's 30, so we roll onto the tram lines, and once again we get going for the first lap and we come into turn 1. The karts ahead are sort of getting choked up against each other, so Morgan goes for the switchback line and is on the inside going into the Christmas corner. Now we're behind for 96, Morgan goes to the inside to think about a move and we go up the inside. However, we sort of get held up a bit and we're not able to make the move as the karts carried more speed around the outside. Coming into the Ashby corner, once again we go to the inside to try and protect our position, and we make a few positions, however once again we lose them on the exit. So now Morgan's lining up a move on the number 81 car into the next corner, and as you can see his rear bumpers are lying on the floor, so that's why he goes into the pit lane at the end of this lap. And then we come up behind the 16 and hopefully it's going to be a nice slipstream into Christmas corner, and it is, so we go up the inside, out brake and get the job done.
That was for sure, but happily there was a bit of a gap to the chasing pack beyond that, which gave him enough time to rejoin and get out
Look
of
at
the
this.
way.
Angus Langley pushing Tyler Rickard onto the grass. Rickard will not like that one bit. That was so robust, but was that too robust?
Well, we'll leave that one for the stewards.
Coming into the boot corner, the two karts ahead absolutely smash into each other, and this means that Morgan's left on the outside, and unfortunately Morgan also gets pushed off the track, so he loses 3 positions from that one incident. make that forward because the 46 comes past. However, Morgan's able to get a better exit and is able to make the run into turn 1. Coming into turn 1, the kart ahead has a wheel fall off, so that's another free position.
So the field are coming around the last corner now. Looks like they are ready to go. The red light becomes green and we are good to go. And Riley Potts will lead the field into oblivion, and Crook was a little bit of contact as they went through that. And there's a kart spinning around at the back. We'll come to that in a moment, but they're coming towards Christmas Corner now. And there we see, oh, it was like 3 wide into Christmas Corner. I couldn't see who that was in the black helmet, but someone's gone onto the grass, and that's going to cause problems behind. And it's a concertina. It's a concertina involving the 29 in the field.
Peretti. Yeah, they've certainly changed around a bit, haven't they, since the start of that race? Front of the grid is not at the front of the grid anymore. Roddy Potts taking the lead in the number 5. They head through Inkerman's at the top. There's a horrible bump there. You can see this where the black and the grey skips where the karts are hopping so much.
Look at Riley Potts, who's just put a lap on Jess Tonks. And this has been the typical drive from Riley all the way through. And he's going to lead Chandler, Withington and Griggs over the line. Potts takes the win in the GX UK Juniors heat number 4. Second will be Ollie Chandler, ahead of Evan Withington and Jack Griggs.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Bad Fire Sprinklers, for being a company that is still prepared to sponsor 2 kids racing.
At Whilton Mill, do feel free to get involved in the live chat if you have any questions. Let us know who you are rooting for. We are on the pit straight now. The red light becomes green.
So we go racing for the Whilton Mill final, and as we go into the right-hander, that's turn 2, I get loaded massively from behind and end up going really wide.
Get their way through. Oh, it's a big accident.
Coming into Christmas Corner, we're going 3 wide, and the 78 comes up the inside, and there's nothing I can do to stop him. And as we come through the next few corners, the karts ahead are going side by side, so they're going to be slowed down, and it's going to give us an opportunity as we brake for the hairpin, and I go for the cutback move.
And there's one other driver that's got caught up in that. The yellow flags are out. It's a full course yellow, Gaz.
Yeah, that may take a few moments to clean up. It might bring the field to a standstill just to give him a final, but we'll see. I mean, there's karts everywhere. So there's 91 that was also involved
That's
against
Tyler
barrier.
Rickard.
Yeah, Tyler Rickard. So 3 karts. I think there was more involved, wasn't there? But they're the 3 that got the brunt of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
See if they can get him started from there.
Is that James Race? I would expect.
Yeah, it's got all the flavour, hasn't it, too?
Not a good start.
Unfortunately, Riley gets a really bad start.
Luckily the karts bunch up into the Ashby corner, so I'm able to get a better exit and go around the outside of the 78 kart, so we're going side by side through the left-hander. Unfortunately, I don't carry enough speed to cover off the switchback, so he's now alongside me again coming into the next corner, so I lose the position that I just gained. I tried to follow Jack through on the 78, but unfortunately it doesn't work, so this means that I get a bad exit and that allows Charlie to come past me. One lap later and I've caught back up to the leading pack, and as I come out of the Christmas corner I get a really good exit.
Look at the gaggle of cars fighting over the same piece of tarmac for second place. It's going to end in tears if they're not careful, but thankfully they survived that. That's the 50 of Aidan McGinn. Almost getting pushed out wide and almost pushing someone else wide as well through Inkermans. And this is the Ashby corner which they're heading through. How will it all play out as they go through Parker and now Chapman?
Coming into the right-hander, Charlie ahead of us opens up a big gap and I go for it, but we have a tiny bit of contact and this makes me slow. So coming into the Ashby corner, Leo and the 29 car comes up my inside and slides into me, but I'm able to hold it around the outside, and it means I'm on the inside for the next corner. So I'm able to get a switch back on for 46 car and I go up the inside into the next corner, but unfortunately Charlie comes across and sort of spooks me off to power, so I'm not able to make the position. But coming into the next corner, the carts ahead are going side by side, but then another cart goes around my outside and then pushes me off the track, so I lose another position.
Here, Leo goes for a move and slides into the side of us. Luckily we managed to recover okay.
So we go side by side with another car into the boot and I'm able to use the curb to get away from him before we get into the chicane. And then as we go through the chicane, I get smashed out of the way and then the car behind me managed to get an overtake. The kart ahead makes a mistake going into the boot and I'm able to get a cutback going into the chicane, but I think better of going side by side. Coming into the Christmas corner, I go to the outside of the 84 car and we go side by side, but once again I'm not left any space and I have to go over the curb and they keep squeezing me, and then Jack comes past me as well because of that crash. The kart ahead goes defensive as it's the last lap, but I don't go around the outside this time, having learnt from last time, and I get a cutback to try and carry more speed into the next few corners. and once again going into Ashby for kart head defence, and this will leave him vulnerable on the exit for a switchback, which is exactly what I do, but I'm stuck on the outside for the next corner, so I'm going to try what's been done to me so many times and get a switchback into the next one, and it works perfectly, and I'm able to go up the inside on the final lap. As we come into the boot corner, this race is about to take a turn for the much worse, and that's because Ollie ahead of us has an absolutely massive crash on the final lap in the final few corners, and we don't think of this as much at first. However, on the in-lap we learn differently. And that's the checkered flag on what was ultimately quite a disappointing weekend in terms of results. However, we had a lot of fun, learned a lot, and we didn't look too slow. We're definitely competitive, which is always nice. Join us in 2 weeks' time at Clay Pigeon for round 2 of the championship, and we're very excited to announce that we're going to be doing something very different also at the end of this month, so keep an eye out for that. We'd like to thank Access Karting for putting on an amazing day of racing. We'd like to thank Rad once again, and we'd like to thank you for watching our video. Now, as you may have noticed, we've been stopped on the in-lap, and that's because of Ollie's crash. So he crashed into the pit entry board, and he got really hurt in this, so unfortunately he had to go to hospital in the ambulance. But that's all for this weekend, so thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.